Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is the Redline Racing League Division 1 Race 2. A reverse grid from the Race 1 results at Dragon Trail Gardens. We're racing at Dragon Trail Seaside 2 for a 30-minute race. On pole, in the Aston, is Christians. Also in an Aston, in second position, it's Condot. In third position, switching from the Lexus to a Porsche 911, it's Martin with a Y. In fourth position, still driving the Lexus, it's Big Ashy. In fifth position, driving a Lexus RCF, it's Rust. In sixth position, it's Rust's OHD teammate Squad Robot in an Aston. In seventh position, in the Volkswagen Beetle, it's AV. Moving on to eighth position, Octokong in an Aston Martin. In ninth position, switching from the Hyundai Genesis to Aston Martin, it's me, OD. In 10th position, driving a Lexus RCF, it's Wooski Racing. In 11th spot, for RRL, it's Calais in the Nissan GTR. In 12th spot, sees Joker in the Mitsubishi Lancer. In 13th position, in an Aston, it's Left Rear Puncture. In 14th position, Damian Black in the Peugeot RCZ. And rounding out the field, your Race 1 winner for Nezo Racing, it's NRT Swordsman 52 in the Hyundai Genesis. And it's a green flag. Heading towards turn 1 for the first time. And now we're heading towards the Chicane of Death for the first time. So far so clean, which is very epic to see. No casualties this time around. Oh, and Calais in the Nissan GTR gets a little bit loose, but saves it. Luckily there's no contact from Wooski Racing. As we cycle to lap number 2, heading towards the Chicane of Death. Ooh! Martin pushes one of the Astons ahead and just chaos ensues. 1, 2, 3 drivers around. Let's take another look. Oh boy. It's one of the notorious things here at Dragon Trail Seaside, especially in reverse, is never go too wide heading into the Chicane of Death. That's usually not going to end very well. So we look through the field, although there is some light damage. Luckily for this event, light damage is on. And one of the misunderstandings I made from race 1 is the 2 out of 3 tire compounds that can be used. Available are the Racing Super Soft, the Softs, and the Racing Mediums. So due to this misunderstanding, my humble self, NRT Swordsman, assumed that because there's 3 different tire compounds available, all 3 are required, right? So I started on the medium tires, and after 2 laps I pit. Assuming, you know what, maybe I'll get the undercut. We'll see what happens. Come to find out after the race, if that wasn't the case, I could have just stayed on the soft tires. Anyways, right here on lap 3, heading towards the Chicane of Death. Will it claim any casualties this time around? Oof. And unfortunately it does for our pole sitter Christians. Very unfortunate incident. Right, almost the end of lap 3, and oh no, Big Ashy, while running in 3rd position, goes a little bit wide going up the hill. Unfortunately takes the wall. And unfortunately wrong place, wrong time for Rust. As at the very second that Rust makes contact, it's with an unghosted car. And there's nothing that Rust could do about that, unfortunately. So unfortunately there is full engine damage, but it will wear off after a couple seconds. Right here in lap 4, Whiskey Racing. Oh no. Hits the barrier on the last turn. And once again, wrong place, wrong time. This time, Martin has nowhere to go. Tags Whiskey. So from one wall to the next, it's just horrible luck. Because now we have front and rear engine damage. Running up over with Martin. Noticing Whiskey going super wide, and luckily it didn't slow Martin down enough to cause any havoc. Here on lap 5. Left race puncture, another victim of the chicane of death. Chicane of death here at Dragon Trail shows no mercy. If you're close enough, it'll grab you. Right here in lap 5, a really good battle for the final position on the podium. As we cycle through the field, there's NRT Swordsman in 9th spot, and of A. Vinny in the Volkswagen Beetle. Good battle now for 11th, 12th, and 13th. However, it appears that left rear puncture has a bit of damage as he's easily dropped back to 13th. We're in lap 6. Yep. Unfortunately, RRL Damian Black does take the ball. A really good battle for this final podium position. Jeez, didn't even look like there was any contact. I think the Dragon's tail got. Alright, checking out Condot. Leading here, turn 1, lap 7. That beautiful neon green and gray Aston Martin V12 Vantage with a sizable lead over It's Me OD. An Octocong in P3, which means it's an Aston Martin 1, 2, 3 as they stand. RRL Calais in P4 and the Nissan GTR. With Joker and Swordsman occupying 5th and 6th in a good scrap. 7th is Martin, 8th is AAV, 9th is Damian Black, and 10th, rounding up the top 10, Squad Robot. Left rear puncture holding P11. Whiskey Racing in 12th, Rust in 13th, Christian in 14th, and Big Ashy rounding out the field. As I mentioned at the start of the broadcast, you are watching the Redline Racing League. This is round 2 of the championship. Round 1 yesterday was featured on this channel, Racing Swordsman from Dragon Trail Gardens. This time around, it's a reverse grid of the Race 1 results here at Dragon Trail Seaside 2. Seaside 2 meaning seaside reverse from the normal path. Taking a look through the field, seeing what the different fuel is like with the different tire compounds. There's Swordsman, the only driver on the grid that actually started on the medium compound and now is running on softs. So there's a really good battle passing going on the front straightaway for 7th spot. Right here on lap 8, riding on board with Kale, and just when you think you're going to have a clean race, unfortunately, you will take that wall. It's waiting for you. Right after 8 laps, Octocon opts to come into the pits, swapping off the racing super soft tires. We'll see how they do exiting the pits, where they will come out. Also in the pits is Damian Black. Left rear puncture. So like with the first race, we end up doing kind of some number crunching regarding to what the lap times are and how many laps are available in a 30-minute race. So we're looking at about 19 if you're going really fast to 20 laps for this enduro. So most of the drivers, I believe, are going to do a 2-stop strategy, unless you can push the fuel a little bit longer, save your tires. Maybe a 1-stop's possible, but that's really going to be pushing it. Conda into the pits. It's BOD inherits P1. Swordsman inheriting P2. Joker also into the pits. Swapping from the racing medium compounds. And with the pit cycle, it appears that Condot will be in 3rd, Martin in 4th, Octocon in P5, RRL Calais in 6th, Whiskey Racing in 7th, Damian Black in P8, Beautiful RCZ. 9th spot is Joker, ahead of Rust. Left rear puncture in 11th, ahead of Squad Robot. EV occupying 13th in the Beetle, with Big Ashy and Christian rounding out the field. So if you look at the bottom left-hand corner is the counter. So we've essentially done 17 minutes of racing, which means we have about 13 minutes left in this sprint series. It'll be interesting to find out who will prevail on top when the timer runs out. Who's going to be ahead? Alright, Whiskey Racing into the pits. Calais also into the pits as well. Rust. A bunch of drivers in the pits after 10 laps. AV in a good battle with Rust for 12th spot. That awesome Sonic the Hedgehog Sega Genesis livery. Ahead of that stern yellow, green, and silver Lexus RCF. Big Ashy. Oh no, Christian. In the Gulf, Aston Martin unfortunately loses it in T1. It appears they missed their braking point. The car just wouldn't turn. Just went straight. Unfortunate. But good effort nonetheless. Alright, It's Me OD on lap 11 actually extends the tires and the fuel. However, NRT Swordsman 52 will inherit the lead. Remember, Swordsman did pit back on lap 2, so being on the soft tires, although It's Me OD is pitting now, that's 11 laps on soft versus Swordsman's 9 laps on soft. Turn 1, lap 12, Swordsman with the lead. out of P2, Condot in a really good battle as Octocon gets the best of him. Second and third, Aston Martin, with a fourth Aston Martin for It's Me OD. Martin with a Y, occupying P5 in the lone Porsche 911. Sixth, in the lone RCZ Peugeot is Damian Black. Joker in 7th, Calais in 8th in the GTR, 9th, left rear puncture in 9th. Whiskey Racing occupies 11th spot right behind Squad in 10th. AV, Rust, Big Ashy, and Christians round out your field. After currently 12 laps. Christian's actually into the pits. Represent the iconic Gulf livery. Very nice to see that on track. After 14 laps, Swordsman decides, you know what? I'm gonna take off these racing soft tires. 12 laps on the soft compound. A little bit of fuel, and actually going to swap on to the racing super softs for the remainder of the race. So exiting the pits, and despite doing the two-step strategy, is 3 seconds ahead of It's Me OD and Condot. RRL Damian Black in 4th position. Joker in 5th. Octocon in 6th. Martin with a Y, occupying 7th position, ahead of Squad Robot. Calais and the Nissan GTR at 9th. AV rounding out your top 10. And the rest of the field as they run. Whiskey Racing. Left rear puncture. And Rust having a good battle in turn 1. Big Ashy. And Christians. Right, as the drivers continue to hold their position, let's cycle through to the final lap of the race. NRT Swordsman rounding the final turn. And down the front straightaway, will win in the Hyundai Genesis. In P2, It's Me OD in the Aston Martin V12. Third spot is Condot, who actually led for a good portion of the race, running out the podium. RRL and Damian Black in the Peugeot RCZ will take 4th. Octocon in an Aston will take 5th ahead of Joker in the Mitsubishi Lancer. In 7th spot, Martin with a Y in the Porsche 911. 8th place is AV in the Volkswagen Beetle ahead of Squad Robot in 9th spot. Calais in the Nissan GTR rounds out your top 10. Whiskey Racing and Lexus RCF will take 11th. Ahead of Left Rear Puncture in 12th. 13th spot is Rust, Big Ashy in 14th, and Christians rounds out your field. So quite an interesting race. Chicane of Death took a lot of casualties this race, unfortunately. But nonetheless, it left us with a lot of very exciting action from first spot all the way through the field. And there are the final results. So NRT Swordsman 52 with the win. At our double-header Dragon Trail Gardens to Dragon Trail Seaside 2. This is the Redline Racing League. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.